Hey guys, I'm Dimension Jump and today I'll be doing my top 5 favourite Pokemon generation games. Now, over the last 30-20 years, there have been various Pokemon games when it comes to the mainline games, as well as various spin-offs. And in today's video I'm just going over some of my favourite games from the different generations. And in this video I'm just going to be talking about maybe really mainly one of the games in when it comes to generation. So for example, if it's like, you know, red and blue, I might talk about red, or if it's hard gold or silver, I might talk about hard gold. But I will talk about the generation as a whole as well when it comes to certain parts of the different games. So yeah, so for number 5 is Alpha Sapphire, which is the remake of the original Sapphire game of Generation 3. Now, what I like about Alpha Sapphire, as well as Omega Ruby, is that it's the whole team dynamic, and I think that's really cool, because depending on which game you play, you'll either have Team Aqua if you're playing through Alpha Sapphire, or Team Magma if you're playing through Omega Ruby, and that's a really cool dynamic because, like, Pokemon games rarely have two teams. It's only mainly one team, depending on which game you play, whether it's Team Galactic, Team Rocket, Team whoever, depending on which game you're playing. And each game, and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are really interesting, as well as the original Ruby and Sapphire when it comes to these two different teams, because even though, like, they're very different and they've got both two leaders and they've got two very different ideas that will lead into the world's destruction when you think about it. But I do really like the whole two team things, and also like when it comes to Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, the new Mega Evolutions that we see. So we've got ones like the starters, so Mega Blaziken, Mega Sceptile, and Mega Swampert, and then you've got ones like Mega Pidgeot, Mega Sharpedo, and Mega Camerupt, and various other new Mega Evolutions. And that's really cool because, like, it's not just using the old ones from Pokemon X and Y, it's using the old the concept of Mega Evolution and adding it to old Pokemon, and that's really interesting, and it's a really a fun and interesting idea of seeing new forms for old Pokemon, and it's really cool, and I really would like it to return in some capacity, maybe in a future Pokemon game, or maybe the new game that's coming out this year, I believe. Yeah, and I do enjoy all the gyms as well. Some of the gyms are quite fun, especially I believe the second to last one, where you have to fight the twins, and I think they're the only double gym in which you have to fight two gym leaders at the same time in the gym, and that's really fun and interesting. And I wish more gyms, like with Mega Evolution and the team dynamic, would be in more Pokemon games. For number 4 is Hard Gold. Now, what I like about the Hard Gold and Generation 2 is that it's the way that it expands on the original Pokemon game, so that being red, blue and yellow, and as well as green. And I do like how in Hard Gold, as well as Soul Silver, you can, depending on which Pokemon you have, can have some of the Pokemon from Generation 4. So for instance, if you have a Togetic, let's say, you'll then get a Togekiss. If you have a Magmar, you might have a Magmortar, that kind of thing. And I do like how, like with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, it takes aspects from the generations that both Hard Gold and Soul Silver are being remade into, and that being the whole Generation 4 gameplay and art style, and as well as Pokemon. and that's really fun. And I do like how it just if you look at it as a generation as a whole, it just continues the whole thing of it being a sequel, and I do like how it references the original red and blue games, and yeah, I think that's really fun. And as well, you get to face off Red, which is a really cool thing, because like you do, because like there's only a few times where you have actually faced off against yourself, in a sense. That being if it's Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver, Sun and Moon, Black and White 2, that kind of thing. And it's really interesting to see, and maybe for the next generation, Red could make an appearance, even though it does feel a bit still, I would say, at around now, because Generation 1 has had a lot of fanfare, or has been pushed to have like a lot of things to do with it, like whether it's Charizard and its Mega X and Y forms, or in when it comes to Sword and Shield with the Gigantamax versions of Charizard, as well as Blastoise and Venusaur. Maybe this could be, like, for the next generation, Scarlet and Violet, maybe this could be the last time we could see Red, and then he could possibly retire, maybe? I don't know. For number 3 is Pokemon Black. Now, what I like about Pokemon Black is that it's, even though it only contains the Pokemon from Generation 5, it still feels interesting and feels new, because like, even though you have to fight the particular team and stuff like that, I do like the whole story of it, like how N is the sort of king of Team Plasma out of the game, and how Gets is just kind of the main guy controlling him in a sense. And a lot of the fights, or a lot of the battles, are really fun, and I do like the last 2 main fights of the main game, that being both N and Ghetsis, because those are like the 2 toughest fights, or some of the toughest fights in the whole series, and it will take some time to try and beat them, but it feels so satisfying when you finally beat them, because it feels like you've earned that victory, and also you've kind of seen them throughout parts of the game. And yeah, it's really interesting, and I do like some of the new Pokemon in the game, whether it's Samurott, Crocodile, Haxorus, and several other Pokemon. The only thing that is kind of I don't really like that much is the whole the second half of Unova being locked until the post game. I'm not a big fan of that. I think they kind of amended that with Black and White 2, which is kind of fun and interesting. And then we can see more of that part of Unova in those 2 games. But overall, I think both Black and White are very enjoyable games. And also, like with Ruby Sapphire and Alpha Sapphire, and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, there are some places in which are very different in a sense, because for example, for the final gym, or the final area of the gym, the 2 towns are different. So I think with Pokemon Black, it's all futuristic, and with Pokemon White, it's kind of like ruined. No, not ruins, I would say. It's kind of all made out of bricks and stuff like that, in a sense, and I think that's really interesting, and again, probably could be brought back in for something like Scarlet and Violet. They kind of did that with the I would say the Professors, and we could probably see more. For number 2 is Pokemon Y. Now, what I love about Pokemon Y is mainly the Mega Evolutions, and I think this concept is really interesting, just because it just brings new life to the series and just adds in new stuff. And I do love the whole concept of you can have, you know, 1 or 2 Mega Evolutioned Pokemon on the same team, and that's really cool, because like I mainly use the Lucario every time I play Pokemon Y, and I just love the whole aspect of just evolving your Pokemon even further, and I do like some of the things that are going with that concept. And again, you know, it is, you know, over time, and one of the first easy Pokemon games. And I mean, you know, Pokemon is supposed to be easy, but in terms of the series, this is like the first easy Pokemon games. But you know, I kind of see where a lot of people are coming from in terms of how easy it gets when you get the experience share. But apart from that, I do really enjoy a lot of things this game has to offer, and it fully does the whole 3D aspect. Pokemon Black and White kind of did that with some of, with the buildings, the character battles, that kind of thing. But I believe that Pokemon X and Y fully embraced it, and that's really fun. And for number 1 is Pokemon Pearl. Now, what I like about Pokemon Pearl, I think it's probably one of my favourite generations, and probably still be one of my top favourites. It's mainly because it was the very first generation that I played in the Pokemon series, and I really do like a lot of the battles that you do with the gyms as well as the team members of Team Galactic, and I think there are a lot of really cool Pokemon to come out of this generation, like Garchomp, Infernape, Luxray, Lucario, and various other Pokemon. And I do like how because of the lack of fire types in Diamond and Pearl, Pokemon Platinum managed to bring in some more fire types to help kind of balance the whole fire type shortage in in Diamond and Pearl, and that's really interesting because you can kind of see how different the battles in terms of fire types are when it comes to Flint in the Elite Four, because with Flint in Diamond and Pearl, he only had 2 fire types, that being Infernape and Rapidash, whereas in Platinum he has an Infernape, Rapidash, Magmortar, and 2 other Pokemon, but I don't 100% remember what they are. But I do enjoy all the fights, and I enjoy just how this generation just brought me into the Pokemon series, and it's a really fun way of just playing through the games, and it's really fun because we can get to see like more and more Pokemon, and you know, more interesting designs and more like different types of Pokemon, or how some of the types sort of respect some of them, like, you know, in terms of dual types, like whether it's Infernape's fire fighting type, or Garchomp's dragon ground type, or Spiritom's ghost dark type, which at the time was like one of the only Pokemon that didn't have any weaknesses until Pokemon X and Y came around with the fairy type, and then now the only Pokemon that doesn't have any weakness is Electros, which is an electric type, but it also has the ability Levitate, so which means it can't get hit by ground, which is its only weakness. So yeah, and I do like how I just like all the new designs, and I just think Pokemon Pearl as well as Diamond and Pearl are just really interesting. And I will say that when it comes to the Cynthia fight in terms of Diamond, Pearl and Platinum and the remakes, I would say that the original games are a lot harder, mainly because in the remakes, in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you get the experience share automatically on, and all your team members, like with X and Y and Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and the other games, from X and Y onwards, all your Pokemon get all get experience instead of just 2 Pokemon. And yeah, I would say the Cynthia fight is a lot tougher in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum than they are in the remakes. But overall, I do really enjoy Diamond and Pearl. So that's been my top 5 favourite Pokemon games. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and see you in the next video.